Hello, AJ76 Ian here. Welcome to AOR Racing F1 2018 on the PlayStation 4. This is Tier F8, the final round of the championship, the Brazilian Grand Prix from Interlagos. We've qualified 7th out of 9 drivers on 1:17.773. As you can see, the conditions are dry. Not expecting rain, but it's pretty overcast. Starting on the super softs and hoping to do a two-stopper. So a fairly even start. On the second phase we seem to gain ground on Mr. Robin. You'll see our teammate there, Ben Hunt, glitching all over the place, disconnecting. He did warn us before the race he was going to have problems, and I think he did the whole race, as you'll see a little bit later. You see Ben Hunt there has left the session. He's actually going for the championship, our teammate, alongside Poser in the Renault, so that's pretty much scupping his shots in the championship. So a good start. We're sat in 6th. And a little bit of a different build up to this race for me, because I found that when I went to find my setups, I'd say, from last season, I didn't seem to have one from Brazil, which was actually a blessing in disguise. So I decided to, instead of trying to build a quick, almost time trial like setup, which I haven't got the skill to really hang on to consistently, I thought I'd go for a kind of standard setup, which actually meant that I may be a few tenths off my ultimate pace, but I was able to push pretty much with very little mistake the whole race, so it was a much more enjoyable experience. So I think I'm going to do that in F1 2019 going forwards. So we ended that first lap in 6th, and this is towards the end of the second lap as Poser does the fastest lap. He's leading in the Renault, and behind us we've got high ground the Toro Rosso. We tried to defend the inside line into the turn 1, the centre S, but he brakes slightly later than us and makes a good clean move around the outside, and we're down to 7th. But that wasn't quite the end of the story, because we've got DRS. We're closing on him quite fast down the back straight. He wisely goes to the inside line, and there's a sniff of a look at the outside, but that gap would have been decreasing pretty quickly, so we backed out of that. But we're going to try and stick to his gearbox for as long as we can. So as I said, we were planning to do a two-stop race onto the supers and then onto softs, and this is our first pit stop at the end of lap 10. We're going to rejoin in 8th. So lap 12 in 8th, mind your own business. M. James Red has just come up. He's retired in front, but little did we know that he was going to be right in the middle of the road there. I wasn't sure whether he ghosted and lost it on the outside. Now I've slowed this down a few times, and it really doesn't look like he was ghosted, even though he's left the session. So I don't know, maybe I should have just ploughed straight through him, but highly annoying, no one's fault. I couldn't control it on the grass except maybe mine, so I've had to make a pit. Spent the rest of the race pretty much on my own, but I was tracking down my teammate Ben Hunt, and it became clear why I was catching him at a second half a lap. I was pretty sure he must be disconnected and ghosted, and yes, so we're trying to catch an AI car not under control by a human, and I've got a 3-second time penalty, but I still want to try and get past him and get 3 seconds clear, but I make a mistake, our only mistake of the race really, and that was that. So I was thinking, that's the end. That's annoying that Ben Hunt's going to get the 7th, because I know that 7th place for me would get me up 2 spots in the championship ahead of Daigor and Saladra, I think, who didn't start this race. So I'm going to cross the line 8th, but as Ben Hunt was ghosted most of the race, that counts as a DNF, so we will in fact be elevated to 7th, which means we'll finish the championship in not exciting, but reasonable 11th place on 19 points. Our joint best result of the season, 7th place. So congratulations to Poser on winning the race and the championship ahead of our teammate Hunter and MSC Schumacher in 3rd. I hope to return on F1 2019.